All right, guys, I've got a standard deck of 52 cards here. Now, what do you think the probability is that if I shuffle these up, you can pick the color of the card I cut to? Well, hopefully you'd say it's about a 50-50 proposition that you can predict the color of the next card that's going to come out, right? So we've already hit at a 50-50 rate here, shuffling them up, and we'll cut randomly. Now we're two blacks ahead. Let's see. Three blacks. So if we play this long enough, we're going to get somewhere near 50-50 black to red, and red is catching up, right? So you guys should inherently know that. And why I'm bringing this up is because I want to talk about value and just how a professional sports bettor, how a poker player, a trader, an investor is looking at trying to make money. They're trying to put their money in situations where they feel there is value there. Does it necessarily mean they're going to win? No, but over time, they're hoping to get value. So by value, if we change this game now to where we were playing this for $5 every time you can guess the correct color, and every time you won $5. Every time you lost $5, you'd be at pretty much even. There's no value in that game to either one of us to play. But if I paid you $10 every time you were correct, and then you paid me $5 every time you were incorrect, you now have a huge advantage in a game like that. So if we were playing and you just guessed red every time, eventually you're going to be up money. You lost $5 there. Let's say you guess red, you're now up $5, right? You guess red, you are up $15. So I've got to get three blacks just to get back to even, right? You're up $25. You can see this is going to start really accumulating, and you're going to have a huge advantage getting paid double on a 50-50 proposition. Now, why do I bring this up? It should be fairly obvious in a game like this, but I see often, I do the top props article on a daily basis inside the Sharp app. You should be checking that out. We're up over 30 units so far since I started posting this article, which has been about a month. And what it focuses on are the top props of the night in the NBA, and we'll be doing it for MLB once MLB kicks off. But you may see sometimes that a prop is, the projection on that prop is lower or higher than what the prop is being offered at, yet the bet is on the other side. So what do I mean by that? Well, let's take the cards for instance. Now let's say you're going to have to guess the value of the next card. So a deuce, a 3, 4, 5. You need to guess the value, where there's 13 different valued cards in a deck of playing cards, standard playing cards. So you'd have a 13-in-1 chance or a 1-in-13 chance in order to pick the correct card. So you should get paid 13-1 if we were going to play this for a very fair bet. Now, if I paid you only 10-1 every time you guessed the next card value correctly, and you paid me $5, let's say, and I paid you $50 for getting it correctly, you'd be at a disadvantage in this game, right? But what if I paid you 20-1? So on your $5, I paid you $100 every time you got the card correct. Well, you'd be very happy to play that game because over time you're going to beat me because you have a 1-in-13 chance of picking, yet I'm paying you as if the chance was 1-in-20. Now, nothing has changed about the probability of you picking that card. It's still a long shot that you're going to pick the card correctly, but you're getting paid as if it was an even more difficult task than it actually is. And that's what we're doing when we are making bets in all sports. We don't necessarily bet on what we think is going to happen. We're betting on where the probability of an event happening is far greater than what the market is offering or what the market is saying it is. The market is offering a higher price, a better price than what it should. And that's where we're trying to take the advantage. Let me just show you on top props, because I get the question here often, and I'm going to bring up an Excel window here. So I get this question a lot on the props, and let me just show you. This is a spreadsheet that I did for the series on, it's actually a prop video on Poisson that you can find inside the Sharp Academy, which is inside the app and on our YouTube channel. But I'm not going to go over how Poisson works, but if you just look down here, this is going, based on the numbers that I put in here, this is going to tell me what my probability is of an under hitting, an over hitting, and this is where the market is at, and then if we have an edge. So now let's just say I've got a prop. The prop could be, assists or something like that. And my projection for the assists is 1.3 assists for this particular player, but the total is 1.5. So in other words, the prop being offered is 1.5. Now you may look at this and say, well, obviously you want to take this as an under because the prop is 1.5 and your projection is 1.3. But that's not necessarily the case, right? What if they were offering the under at minus 225 and they were offering the over at plus 190? Well, now you can see I have got a 2.8% edge on taking the over. Now, do I think the over is going to come in? No, based on my projection of 1.3, I don't think it's going to go. I think more often than not, we're going to hit an under. As a matter of fact, I know exactly how often I think I'm going to hit an under. At about 62.7% and about 37.3%, I'm going to hit the over. But they're paying me at a higher rate. They're paying me as if it was only a 34.5% probability, right? So that is the equivalent of what we were talking about with the cards. That's the equivalent of you taking a long shot here where the odds of you hitting what value this card is going to be next it's not that great, right? You have a 1 in 13 chance of getting the value of this card. So you're already pretty much know that your odds are you're going to lose this bet. But on the occasion that you do win it, you're going to make up for it. And we're trying to play these type of games over and over again, right? So guess the next denomination, guess the value, not the denomination, guess the value of the next card. And eventually you're going to hit one, and it's going to make up for, if you were getting paid 20 to 1, it's going to make up for all those $5 losses that you had, right? Now in the short term, of course, you could go into a bad streak. You just don't pick the right value on the card. But eventually, over time, that is going to play out in your favor. This is how casinos work. They take very small edges and they magnify them over thousands and millions of hands. If you're talking about blackjack or spins of the wheel at roulette or tosses of the dice at a craps table, they are taking that small advantage and then just playing it over and over again. We're trying to flip the script as a professional sports bettor. We're looking for the advantage play. So what I wanted to just go over with you guys quickly was that when you're looking at the top props, it's not necessarily what the projection is, it's what the odds are that they're giving us. I could be far away, I could be way under what I think or what the prop is. My projections could be way under that, yet they're paying me significantly more on the over side of that bet, and I think it goes under, but I must bet the over, right? Just like I think I'm not going to get the next card right? I'm going to pick a 6 here. I don't think I'm going to be correct here, but if you're paying me 20 to 1, I'll take a shot at it, and it's a 9, right? I'm going to pick an 8 as my next card. Again, I don't think I'm going to get this correct. It's a 4. But the bet is worth it. So when you look at it, if I just looked at 2 bets right now, I'm down $10, I'm down 2 units or whatever you want to call it, then it doesn't look like a really smart bet sometimes on the surface. But when you're getting paid properly, it's easier to figure it out with things like cards and coin flips and marbles. And that's why I like to show it that way. When we're looking at sports, we don't necessarily view it as being a set probability of an event happening, but that's how I view sports. I just view it as there's a probability. There's a 60% chance that this team's going to win, or this player is going to score this many points, or whatever the case may be. I put it in terms of percentages and odds, and then I'm just playing the odds that are in my favor. I'm going to make those kind of wagers. So I just wanted to give you guys a little heads up. I've been asked some questions sometimes where they see a prop. One of you guys will see a prop that doesn't necessarily look like it fits with the direction that the bet is going. But when I mentioned to you that the juice is enough on the side that we're betting in order to justify that bet, that's what I mean, right? So that's like the 20 to 1. You've got a 1 in 13 chance of picking that value on that card. But we're going to take that bet anyway because you're paying me 20 to 1 every time I do it correctly. If you paid me 10 to 1, terrible bet. You pay me 13 to 1, okay, it's going to be flat. Anything over 13 to 1, I'm playing that bet all day long because I'm going to make money. And that's what we're trying to do when we sports bet. So just a quick little piece of advice for you guys. Hopefully you are checking out the app, the free bet of the day, Val's Parlays. We've got the Sharp Surgeon in there with the new model. He's going over a game a night on the new model that we've been working on. Speaking of that model, the Geek has been crushing it with the NBA model that we are working on to get inside the app. A lot of good stuff going on in the app, as well as the top props that we just spoke about. I've got models for the soccer. I've got models in tennis. Check all that stuff out. Guys, we really appreciate the likes, the subscribes on the YouTube channel and our various social media. So if you could help us out with that, it is appreciated. Good luck, and I'll see you guys soon with some more of these type videos.